Hi friends. So today is a significant day for women's cricket in India. Today we are kickstarting the 2025 Women's Cricket World Cup, and why it's so significant because it's the first time India is going to be a host. India and Sri Lanka are co-hosting this World Cup, and India would look forward to make a great show out of this tournament, and also India would like to use the home advantage to win this World Cup and break the jinx of not winning an ICC trophy for the women. And once it happens, we are sure that the floodgates will open and India will keep on winning ICC tournaments because India is first improving and India has the team to do so. Is this the best Indian team ever to have played a World Cup? Okay, that may not be the case because it doesn't have the stability and the anchoring capability and the great pedigree of Mithali Raj or the brilliant match winning simmer in Jhulan Goswami. The experience is lacking there a little bit. But this is the team which is in real form and in great form, and the kind of performance they have shown against England in England by winning the series and also by giving a great scare to Australia just before the World Cup started, by winning a match and also taking the decider to almost a crescendo by almost reaching 400 plus total, which they could have done if they had a little depth in their batting, and could have beaten Australia and created a real big upset of chasing down 400 plus score. So going by that kind of form and the kind of form and the confidence this Indian team has, it looks this may be finally the year for India to win international glory or global trophies. And India has the resources and the capability, no doubt about it. In Smriti Mandhana, India has the best opening batter in the world currently. She is in a purple, she has hit a purple patch. She has become the highest scorer in ODI cricket this year. She is on the verge of achieving the unprecedented record of scoring 1000 runs in a calendar year. She has been in tremendous form. She is scoring 50s and 100s just like a ritual or a routine thing in every match. So she is the batter the whole world is scared of right now, and she is giving fabulous starts to Indian team. And then there is Harmanpreet Kaur, a tremendously gifted batter, a great captain, a feisty character, having a winning mentality like an Australian, and she is there always as the most experienced cricketer to guide the Indian team and to strengthen the middle order. Along with Smriti Mandhana, she holds the key to India's batting success. And then there are players like Deepti Sharma, who has been a veteran and in Indian condition with with her spin and match-winning ability and a great all-rounder capability in terms of batting and adding useful runs. Also having the ability to adapt both in terms of being a stroke player when the time comes or an anchoring person when there is a little storm brewing over Indian batting. She can be a real asset in these conditions, and she will hold a great key for India winning this tournament. And to help her, there are two major spinners India has who can be a handful against any opponent team, and they are Radha Yadav and Sneha Rana, who have been tremendous assets for India in the recent years, and they will hold the key on the Indian pitches where there will be some sluggishness, some grip, and some turn, and they would be key to India winning this World Cup. And of course, then there is players like Jemima Rodriguez, who has become now an established star, a great exciting talent, and she looks the player to watch out for. Only problem for her has been the injuries, which has made sure that she has not been able to get all the matches in 2025. But whenever she is injury free, she has been a fabulous performer, and she has reached a stage of consistency which she was earlier lacking. And if she stays injury free, she can be a great asset for India in the middle order, and she will give a lot of confidence to Harmanpreet and Smriti Mandhana to go for their shots. And then there are players like Sri Charni, who has been an exciting debutant this year. Her spin bowling has been a real revelation, and she has created havoc against the English players in her first series, and she has been brilliant. And if she clicks, she will be a fabulous resource to bank upon for Indian team in this World Cup. But there are also some concerns and some worries, and the major concern is the lack of the proper opening batter, because Safali Burma was the one which India had thought that they would bank upon her to be the Virendra Sehwag or Gilchrist or Jayasuriya for Indian team for a number of years to come. And she was the player who was to give that confidence for Smriti Mandhana to bat according to the situation and not take undue risk, because she had the ability to completely change the course of a game during the power play. But a season back, she underwent a tremendous slump in her batting form, which forced the selectors to drop her from the World Cup team, and she is no longer in the team at all. So, in her absence, India had to do a little bit of firefighting to find out a suitable replacement, and they have found in Pratika Rawal a very exciting prospect, but she has very little experience of playing in the big tournaments or in the big matches against big teams. So, this would be interesting to see what kind of starts she would be able to give, what kind of support she would be able to give to Smriti Mandhana in the big stage, in the big matches in this World Cup in front of packed stadium. So that would be a little concern. The opening partner slot is a little tricky right now. And then there are injury concerns that has plagued India, especially in the seam bowling department. India's mainstay after Jhulan Goswami in seam department has been Renuka Singh, but then Renuka Singh and Amanjot Kaur have been injured, and they have been seriously injured before coming into the World Cup, and they have just come back after recovering, and the selectors have taken a big risk by putting both of them in this Indian team. And in the last match against Australia, Renuka was being observed, and she was carrying and she was holding her calf a little bit. So that's a little worrying sign. If either of them or both of them break down in the middle of this World Cup, that can be catastrophic for India, because India banks on them for their seam bowling support. And then, of course, there is Arundhati Reddy, and there is a newcomer in Kranti Gaur, who is a very exciting talent, but they are yet to fulfill their potential. They are yet to play enough games. They are actually starting their career, so it would be unfair to expect them to become match winners and take the new balls and perform against big teams right from the word go. So seam bowling department can be a little tricky, because mainly of the fact that Renuka is carrying the niggles and injuries. And then there is that usual problem of lower middle order batting. The lack of batting depth in Indian squad has always been the trouble for India. That's why India lost the 2017 ODI World Cup against England, which they should have won very easily. But even the bare minimum 20 runs they could not add, because their lower middle order and tail were absolutely struggling to face or to score runs. And that has been continuing even till today. In the 2022 World Cup final against T20 World Cup final against Australia, they struggled because of that. Also in the Commonwealth Games final, they lost out the gold because of that same problem of having zero depth in the batting in the lower middle order and tail. And this problem still looks a very important problem for India in this World Cup, because beyond Dipti Sharma, there is hardly any batter who can even bat at a decent scoring rate of 6 to 7 runs for next 7-8 overs. So that is where India has a real concern against big teams, because if they take 5 to 6 wickets and there is a slight gap between the winning margin between the target and where India is, then India may struggle because of lack of batting depth. Of course, Richa Ghosh being an explosive batter and a wicketkeeper is there, but then she is also a middle order batter right now, because she has become a proper batter. But once Dipti Sharma is out, there is a problem for India in terms of batting depth. And then finally, the problem that has been always plaguing India from right from the time they have started playing, that is fielding and catching, where Australia, New Zealand and South Africa are so strong, and that's where they save a lot of runs, take some crucial wickets. But then India has been struggling right from the beginning when they have started playing. There were some signs of improvement during their series against England, where they won the series, white ball series, so creditably in the English conditions, and their fielding and catching was fabulous there. But once again, when they came back and played that last series against Australia in India, there were some really glaring lapses in the field, and that can be really costly in the World Cup games against the big teams. One hopes that was an aberration against Australia, and this Indian team has worked upon them, and one hopes that they have now become a world-class fielding side. If they can be, then India would have done a great in achieving the ultimate glory in this World Cup. So yes, there are some concerns, but this team looks capable of winning the World Cup at home soil and make 140 crore Indians happy and proud. What the men could not do in 2023, the women can do in 2025. Let's hope for the best. Thank you.